механизмы реактивности и propose the world.
One of the highest honors that any designer can achieve is to create something that is timeless and iconic. We all want to make something that leaves a lasting impression on our users and on culture as a whole. This is going to be a multi-part series, and this first video is about what makes a design iconic, what makes a design a meme, and what makes a design distinctive but not really breaking new ground. To start, let's talk about what icon means according to the dictionary definition. It is a person or thing regarded as a representative symbol or as worthy of veneration. The word iconic was typically reserved for religious contexts. In Western culture, the Christian cross is probably the best example of an iconic form, which brings forth another point. Icons are very dependent on culture. What is iconic in one culture might be totally meaningless in another one, and you need to be sensitive to that when you're designing. In modern contexts, especially in design, this isn't really how we use the word. I think that a more relevant definition for iconic is that it's recognizable, memorable, and it sets a new standard for others to follow. It's symbolic of a larger movement within culture. So let's look at an iconic idea outside of industrial design. To be iconic, you often have to look outside of your field and rethink things. So that's what we're going to do with this video as we go through this analysis. Let's look at this famous quote by John F. Kennedy and see how we might relate it back to principles of iconic industrial design. You'll see that a lot of the same principles apply no matter what the medium.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
This quote is about 60 years old, and it's still one of the most famous quotes in US history. So, why is this quote iconic? Well, first of all, it's simple and easy to understand. Almost every single word is one syllable, except for country, which is only 2 syllables. The sentence structure is at an elementary school level. Anyone can understand this. This helps to make it recognizable and memorable. While the sentence structure is presented simply, it speaks to a greater truth that is admirable. Contribute to the public good. It sets a new standard. Being virtuous and helping others is an idea as old as time, but so many other presidents just pander to what's in it for their citizens. Elected presidents almost never ask citizens to sacrifice or contribute to a larger vision, especially in peacetime. But JFK did exactly that with this quote. This quote has also stood the test of time. It was first uttered in 1961, yet here we are still talking about it. One interesting thing is that immediately after stating this quote, he says almost the exact same thing again. Listen here.
My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man.
He does this because he wants to drive the point home. This amplifies the quote's impact, and it helps us to remember it even more, therefore making it even more recognizable. Now, you can easily start to see how an analysis of this iconic quote can be applied to your design work. Once again, it's important to think about how to connect contrasting ideas when creating iconic designs. You can't look within your current field of study, you need to look outside of it. Let's take this criteria that we just made from the JFK quote and see if it applies to the iPod, one of the most iconic designs of the 21st century. So just like the JFK quote, it's simple. Both the interface and the visual design is iconic in how simple it is. One good test of whether a visual design is iconic is to see if you can draw it with just a few quick lines. It also speaks to a greater truth or trend. Now, back in the early 2000s, the music industry was freaking out because of the illegal distribution and downloading of music files through things like Napster, LimeWire, etc. Now, rather than try to fight the inevitable move towards digital music, Apple's iPod and iTunes embraced the new paradigm and took full advantage of it. As a result, Apple sold millions of iPods and cemented themselves as the leader in the digital music industry. It sets a new standard, both from an aesthetic design perspective and a usability perspective. It completely changed the way we interact with music. Look at these other MP3 players and then look at the iPod. These MP3 players have this very blobby 90s sort of look, and then the iPod is this super streamlined, very minimalist design. Better yet, look at this portable CD player, and then look at the iPod. That is a stark contrast. On a functional level, you have access to an entire discography in your pocket, all with a very clever and compact interface. The iPod, without a doubt, has stood the test of time. While it is obsolete at this point from a technology perspective, its legacy around design and usability is still as strong as ever. All of society has shifted towards listening to digital music on tiny, minimalist metal rectangles, and it's been that way for 20 years now. And lastly, iPod ads were plastered all over billboards, TV ads, and just about everywhere else. Apple's massive marketing push helped to make the exceptional product memorable. I don't want to downplay the importance of good marketing when it comes to creating an iconic product either. You need eyes on your product if you want it to become iconic. This is largely because of the mere exposure effect. Basically, this is a psychological phenomenon where people develop a preference towards something just because they're exposed to it over and over again. This is why pop radio stations play the same songs constantly. Even if you don't like it at first, and even if the music is actually not that good, eventually you will develop a taste for it. The same is the case for physical products. The more you're exposed to a product or design, the more you're going to like it. This is one major reason why the iPod is famous, whereas Dieter Rams' T3 radio is very obscure, even though the designs are incredibly similar in terms of looks. Now, to be fair, of course, the T3 radio was not nearly as groundbreaking in terms of its functionality. Another great example of an iconic design is the classic mini car. Once again, it's simple. You can easily draw the front fascia with just a few simple geometric shapes. It speaks to the greater trend of moving towards practical, compact automobiles that had great fuel economy and ample storage, a trend that is relevant as ever, even today. It's a fresh perspective that is in stark contrast to the giant American cars of the 1950s. Lastly, it has stood the test of time. The original Mini is one of the most well-known car designs ever, and the brand lives on in modern iterations as well. Interestingly, a lot of the emojis in your phone represent iconic designs. I guess it's not really that surprising that iconic designs turn into phone or desktop icons. Emojis need to be recognizable, even as very small, simplified images. The electric guitar emoji is modeled after the Fender Stratocaster, which might be one of the most iconic musical instruments of the 20th century. The Fender Stratocaster and its predecessors, like the Telecaster, helped to transform the role of guitar from a support instrument to a lead or solo instrument. This was largely due to the transition from acoustic instruments to electromagnetic pickups, or the electric guitar. Jimi Hendrix, a cultural icon in his own right, showed the world what could be done with the Fender Stratocaster. The Fender Strat, the iPod, and the Mini all look beyond existing conventions or ideas and change the game, and that's what makes them iconic. Most iconic products come about as a direct result of a new paradigm in technology or manufacturing. So the Fender Strat, for example, would not have been possible without streamlined assembly processes and, like I said before, the electromagnetic pickups. The relatively small size of the iPod was thought to be impossible until an Apple executive coincidentally found an electronics manufacturer who was making a tiny hard drive with massive storage capacity. Without that tiny little hard drive, the iPod would not have comfortably fit in your pocket, and that iconic form factor might not have been possible. The size and performance of the Mini Cooper car would not have been possible if they hadn't completely reworked the positioning of key components. This innovative component arrangement is still used as a blueprint for modern compact cars, even today. Once again, iconic designs are as much about good engineering as they are about good design. I think this highlights an important point because it makes it clear that in order to create an iconic design, it goes way beyond the design. You need that marketing budget and you need that great engineering team to make things happen. Now, to be fair, not all iconic designs need to use a new technology, but they definitely need to break new ground. The Juicy Salif is arguably an iconic design, but it's more because of what it represents. It forces us to think about the primary function of an object in our lives and to reprioritize joy as a function rather than pure functional utility. Now, I don't know whether it's a good or bad idea to design something that is functionally useless, but that's not really the point. The point is that the Juicy Salif forces us to confront that question in a very direct way. Okay, so we've covered some iconic designs. I also think it's important to talk about what is not iconic. The word iconic is thrown around a lot in design circles, and I feel like it's overused. I think there are other designs out there that are great, even exceptional. I just don't think they're worthy of the word iconic. So for example, I think that a lot of products fall under the category of meme rather than iconic. Now, to be clear, the word meme doesn't just have to be about cat jokes on the internet. A meme, by definition, is just a way of compressing a complex issue, narrative, or emotion into a simple image or design. Almost all memes these days are distributed over the internet, to be fair, but you can use the word to talk about products too. These kinds of meme products offer a certain shock value and generate a lot of polarizing opinions. Their main issue is that they're just different for the sake of being different more often than not. To be clear, I don't think this is a bad thing necessarily. I actually think it's good to shake things up on a purely visual level. If one of my designs ever becomes a meme, I personally would consider that a huge success. The only issue with meme designs is that they don't really speak to any sort of greater truth. The Cybertruck is a good example of this. So the Cybertruck, at least to me, is more of a meme than an icon. Sure, it's simple, very simple. It sets a new standard in many ways in terms of the lower cost exoskeleton construction. It's hard to say for sure whether it's going to be an icon or not until looking back on it several years later. But with the Cybertruck, I think the bigger issue is that it isn't representative of any greater truth or trend. It's just sort of a boxy looking rectangle car, but beyond that, it doesn't really represent anything new or different. To me, it's more of a physical expression of Elon Musk's insanity more than anything else. It's also worth mentioning that there are other angular wedge-shaped cars that I think are better executed and closer to being iconic. It's just that they didn't have the marketing budget behind them to really turn them into cultural icons. This Lancia Stratos HF0 is probably an icon among people who are passionate about cars though. And the overall aesthetic is sort of in the vein of the Cybertruck, just way better executed. Lastly, I think that products can simply be distinctive. I think that this is a good thing. Sure, a distinctive design might not be breaking new ground, but it's a lot better than being boring or not useful or bad. And I think the Ford Bronco is an excellent example of this. It's a well-proportioned, well-executed design that's probably going to sell really well. It has design elements that are very distinctive, but it isn't iconic, and we probably won't be talking about it in 5 years, for example. So in summary, in order for a design to be iconic, it must be memorable and recognizable. It should speak to a greater truth and set a new standard for its category. The word iconic should only be reserved for the most successful designs. It's something that comes along once every few years. If we start calling everything iconic, then there's no word to describe something that truly changes the world, like the iPod. It's better to use more modest terms. In the next video, we're going to talk about how to create designs that are iconic, or at the very least, very distinctive. It's going to be a lot of fun, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, thanks for checking this out, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope you learned something.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you today? Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Great. Welcome to class this evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. It's good to be here again with everyone. And this is a combination of two classes, UI, UX, and digital media marketing. Today, Mr. Etty Williams is not going to be around. Yeah, there's some challenges. Oh, okay. So I think the national grid issues, yeah, is affecting some people. Yeah. You know, for him, he thought he would be able to sort out things before now, but unfortunately, he's not able to make it. So I'll have to fast track my own session on design thinking for both UI, UX, and digital media marketing classes. So today but before I jump into my class, we watched the video just now. I would like us to discuss it. So what did you learn from the video? And I would like everybody to talk about it because we're in different places. And then as we're watching, we, what's it called? We were attracted by different things and we got different information from that video. So I'll start from Kentono, who is the number one. I'm going to use the list, so I'm not going to say volunteer. Okay, Adeni Fadekemi, you go first, followed by George Austin, then Georgine Pudo, then Ikena, then Kentono Joshua, Kevin Kahira, Mukada Sario, Oluwatomi Singh, Olowoyoyo, and Simon Adaje. So Adeni Fadekemi would like you to unmute and share with us what you learned from the video that we just watched. We all picked different things. Even me, I picked different things, but I just want to hear your viewpoint. What did you learn? How to make an iconic design. You can put it in your own words. You don't necessarily have to say it exactly as it was said in the video, but the lessons learned is what is important. So please, Adeni Fadekemi, on mute, and let's hear from you. Adeni Fadekemi, are you there? Okay, George Austin, you're next. George? Okay, so I'll allow you to type while, okay, fine. Thank you, George Austin. Georgine, thank you, George, for taking responsibility. Georgine, you're next.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Georgine.
Okay, in simple terms and summary, I think I could define iconic as something that is greatly recognized and admired by everyone. And the key point I've also taken, one of the brands that we can really learn from is the iPod that was created, and also that the way the iconic term is not something that is quite used often, and ways on how to create it, something unique, something timeless. Yeah, that's some bits that I've taken home. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Georgine. Thank you. That was a great one. Ikena, over to you. Ikena.
Sorry. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, instructor. Good afternoon, everyone. So, based on what I get on the video, it's just about being creative and expanding your creativity to reach from your society or your community to the world at large. It's just about being innovative and creating something that can last through your business and can be transferred to generations to come. Uh, I hope I'm on the right track.
Because for some part of the presentation, we're actually distracting the class. We had to mute you by force, so you missed out on some important
Yeah,
one. But thank you for that
yeah,
contribution.
yeah,
Yes,
thanks. I missed some part though. I
you
wasn't
missed
able to.
it because you were distracted by your friends. Anyway,
Yeah,
Kevin, you are next, please. So next time you should know that when you're supposed to be here, try and be in class so that you can absorb a lot. Kevin,
yeah.
over to you
Thank you.
next.
Okay, basically, I would say being iconic is trying to create something simple or something popular. But yeah,
Hmm. Somebody picked the word I'm looking for. Okay. All right. Next is Mukadas. Mukadas Ario. Mukadas Ario. Hmm. Is Adeni Folakemi now available for us? Okay. So Uluwatu missing. You're next.
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
So what I take from the video is just that whatever you are doing, make sure that it is simple. Two, it is relevant. Because from the video we could see I think MP3 player from 1958 or 78 compared to the iPod, which was same design, but the functionality had difference. But the relevancy of iPod was that it was uh, available for the user at the moment. It was relevant to what is like trending at that particular point in time, which actually is going to be the trend over time. So just keep it simple, make it relevant. So that's what I picked from the video.
Okay. So Simon.
Good evening, man.
Thank you for that contribution. Yeah, good evening. Go ahead, Simon.
What I pick from this video is the uniqueness of every product. When creating a product and when developing a product, you just need to be unique, being consistent, and make it that you do reach. Well, just the uniqueness and make it unique so that we stand out from if every product. Like every product sees you know that this product is particularly stand out from any competitor.
Great.
What I
Okay, I saw. Oh, did he leave again? Kentono left again. Okay, I wanted him. Adeni Fadekemi, are you in class or you are somewhere else? Mukada Sario. Okay, so I want to assume that these two people are not in class for today because it's it's important for us to be here and then be right here if we want to be part of this program. So George has written to us and he said, yeah, a product being iconic rather is relative on how unique you see it, how relevant it is to your needs. Okay, so the reason why I wanted us all to share is because I wanted to know, okay, what you have picked from the video. And the truth is, from time to time, we will have ideas, running through our minds. We'll have, even when you have a project, when you have any project, you have to start from a point. And that point is the point where you ideate. So you get a brief. Even the brief was gotten from the thought of we want to create a solution or a product that is attractive, you know, that will attract people, that will attract purchase, that will attract interest, that will make people want to come. And so we must ensure that it's iconic. If you remember in the video, one thing, you know, stood very strong for me. When he said simple, he related simplicity to something. Who remembers? When he said simple, who remembers? The simplicity was related to something. Who paid attention to that part? Nobody got that part, okay? So the simplicity, he mentioned that it should be something that people can remember anytime, something that they can remember anytime. So, because what makes a product easy for people to use is the fact that, yeah, it is user-friendly. Whether you're advertising something, so for somebody to say, oh, I want to go and buy that product, they must remember that, oh, it exists, because a whole lot of things are calling for people's attention. So for you to get them to buy or to come and then pick yours above all, it means that you must attract them in a way that other people, you know, are not able to attract them. So you must pay attention to that. It must be easy to remember. It must be easy to remember. So that brings us to today's class. Before then, how many people came from the UI UX class? Please identify yourself by using the reaction button that says me. Great, Simon. Anyone else? George? Any other person? Because I have this information that people are still in your class, they are not here. So, okay. Anyone else? Only 2. Wow, that's not good enough. Okay. Can George or Simon reach out to others on the platform to tell them that we're here and share the link with them very quickly? And I'll also see what my team can do also from here so that they don't miss out on too much. The message was sent out. I don't know if they didn't all get it. Okay, so, and then somebody from digital media also should call on others if you think they're not here. All right, so I'll be taking us this evening on design thinking, and that's what we'll be talking about in the next 1 hour, I believe, or less. All right. So design thinking, when you hear this word design thinking, what comes to mind? When you hear design thinking, what comes to mind?
Design innovation.
Okay, innovation.
From my wealth of knowledge, it is maybe prototyping.
Okay. Okay, anyone else? Ideas about designing?
Design creating.
Okay, ideas about designing. Okay, what else?
Creative. Design creating.
Design creating. Okay, what else? What else? Yeah, now. Problem solving. What else? Trying to open the chat box. The product, okay. Ideas about designing, problem solving. Any other thing? Okay, so let me continue. So when we talk about design thinking, yeah, I've tagged this design thinking for digital media marketing and UX designing. So design thinking is a problem-solving approach. Problem-solving approach. So it is not about just designing. It is designing to solve problems. So even if it's a flyer you're designing to sell a product, to call for attention, it must be meeting a need. When you're solving a problem, you're automatically meeting a need. So design thinking is a problem-solving approach that emphasizes empathy, creativity, and experimentation to create innovative solutions. So this presentation will explore, or this class will explore, how design thinking can be applied to digital media marketing and UI/UX design to deliver exceptional customer experience. Now, one thing we all need to know is when you are designing, you're not designing to excite yourself. You're not designing anything to be excited about it or for just your family members. As long as it is a product, except you're trying to design, what do we call it now? Create an event within the family. So you want to impress your people. Hey, so you know that you are limited. Those ones you are connected, you know, to them. You can feel what they feel without you having to go to them to ask questions. You know them already. You're already interacting with them. So you can design what suits them because you know them. Let's not assume you're designing for people you've never even met and you may not ever meet physically. Maybe you can see their Twitter online and get to know who they are. So design thinking helps us to solve this problem of, okay, if I am doing this project, I want to be able to solve this problem. That means my customer, my people, they are important because you're not designing for just the hair, the animals, the tree, but human beings. And you know, human beings are emotional beings. So, because really, even for me, I've seen adverts that, you know, got me really pissed. And then because of that, I did not buy their products. I did not even try to check what's going on inside. I know that some of us will say, well, that's their own problem. For us, even the products that we do for free, we do not say, oh, because we're doing it for free, we don't pay attention to how people feel. It is important that you make people feel good. Of course, there will be some exceptions. Some people are going to be difficult, overly sensitive, but hey, you know, not everybody will be that way. So, but you have to meet everyone, at least the majority, right? At that point where, so you have to meet the majority at the point where, you know, everyone feels satisfied to an extent. Of course, you cannot meet everybody's need 100%, but you can at least make them feel okay with whatever it is they get. That's the truth. So in design thinking means you're thinking about your clients or customers in your designing. So that's where that word came, design thinking. I want to design something. I am not designing for myself, but I am designing for others. So how do they accept it? Do they like it? Or do they, you know, you must tell us what you want them to feel. So what is design thinking? So design thinking focuses on understanding the needs, pain points, and behaviors of your target audience. Needs, pain points, and behaviors of your target audience. So therefore, it must be user-centric. And number two, it says iterative process. So it involves a continuous cycle of empathizing, defining, ideating, prototyping, and implementing solutions. So when you are designing something together, when you're designing, if your focus is on, oh yeah, I want to make that money. I want to get the money from my clients, and then you're not paying attention, and then you just design carelessly without putting them at the back of your mind. God helps you that you are not doing a mass production of what you're designing. Some people have lost a lot of money because they just jumped into designing something that they feel, oh yeah, everybody's gonna like it, and they went into producing it massively. And then so this mass production costs them a whole lot, and now they're angry because they're not able to sell. So it is important for you to know that we need to test this product first before we jump into you know um, sales. Yesterday we're talking about marketing and sales. So, and then number 3, multidisciplinary approach. Design thinking brings together diverse perspectives and skills to tackle complex problems. It tackles who understand that part. Number 3, I want to know if we are all thinking in the same direction. It tackles it tackles complex problems. Who think they understand that part? That part of tackling complex problems. Who's going to tell me that who understands that part, and what do you think about it? Because that's the core. Hello? Can you hear me? I didn't know I muted. Oh my God. Okay, sorry, my space bar is automatic mute. Okay, can you hear me? Multidisciplinary approach. That means that when you are solving a problem and thinking about it, that means you're thinking about multiple people, multiple things at the same time, and at the end of your plan, you must arrive at a solution. If you look at it, the way Georgine feels about something is not the same way Kevin will feel. Now, a product may have multi-parts, and then you must look at all the parts and bring them all together. So that's why you see people, putting together a survey and doing a research about the product before they throw it out there in the market. So what are the 5 stages of design thinking? Guys, please, I need 2 minutes. Please, I would like you to excuse me for a bit. I need to sort out something. Okay, sorry about that breaking. So there are 5 stages of design thinking, and it's important when you are thinking about designing anything, whether it's a graphics for your marketing project or for a product like web designing for people in UI UX, you have to create prototypes or design maybe with Figma, a sample for a client to see, and then before they make that final decision on, oh, I like this. That means on behalf of your clients, you have to be thinking on behalf of your clients as well as your customers. That means you have to sit with your clients and find out what they want and who their customers are, and then you have to now be able to put it together. So what they want plus what their customers are. Okay, somebody, okay, yeah, George, I'm just saying that what their customers are, what they want, and you put everything together to achieve the goal of what your customer is thinking, to help them connect with their own customer. It's important. I didn't know what to say. So I've gone to define all mine because I was asking question on the site. Nobody responded. Did you stop hearing me? At what point did you stop hearing me? Hello? Am I talking to myself? Looks like nobody's responding. Am I talking to myself? Can you hear me? Please, if you can hear me, I need to show with the reaction. But that comes off. Hello? Are we still getting fast? Okay. We have to use this.
Probably there's a lag with the internet.
Can you hear me? Okay, okay. Because I sent the message and I'm just seeing returning it saying delivery failed. Oh, okay. I've been asking, I've been saying, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Wow. Sorry, how is my internet? Are you able to hear me clearly? Are you able to hear me clearly?
Hello,
Yes,
your
ma'am.
Are you able
internet
to
is
hear me
shaky.
clearly?
Shaky. Your internet is shaky. Shaky. We can't hear you clearly.
Okay.
We only hear the last part. Like, I'm hearing the last part of what you are saying. Last part. Let me see. Can
Can you guys hear me now? Is it clearer and better?
Yes, yes.
It's better, right? All right, thank you. Sorry about that. Internet is a little bit annoying. Okay, so like I was saying, you have to empathize. So you have to deeply understand the user's needs, the pain points, and behaviors through research and observation. So you can actually do some surveys. So now, like I was saying the other time, if you're working with a client and you also, so that means like oops. So like I was saying earlier on, that even when you're working with a client, even your client, they are your own customers, and you also have to know how to even help them, connect with their own customers as well. That's why we are designers and creators. So sometimes your customers don't totally know who their customers are. So, but first you must hear from them. You want to understand, okay, who their target audience are, and they know what they like. So as designers, we have to be able to think creatively. If you remember what this slide says about problem-solving approach that emphasizes empathy, that is, you're able to connect, at least be in your customer's shoe, able to connect with them, and then creativity. You must be able to create things. So a designer cannot always count on their customers to bring the creative. Yeah, so some people think, okay, customer will tell them exactly what they want and their own job is just to draw the wireframe. No, if you are operating that way, you will end up losing more and more customers. But as designers, you have to also work on your own creative ability, so that when they are saying things, you should be able to contribute and help them refine, right, their ideas in such a way that it becomes attractive. Whether you're trying to design a flyer for your for customers that you're not going to see, or for customers that you're not seeing, because you're going to be doing paid adverts for people in marketing, digital media marketing. You want to pay for an advert. You don't want to pay for an advert and you don't get anything back in return. So you must pay attention to all of this. Make sure it is attractive, and it's something that will solve the problem of your customer and meet the need of their users. Define. You must synthesize the insights gathered during the empathize stage to frame the problem statement. So like I was saying earlier about the empathize, you have to do your research, and you must also observe. Observation, pay attention, and then research. You can do surveys. First, you know your target. So like recently, we're trying to create a product that will solve youth employment challenges or problems in Africa. And then what did we do? We now decided to, so in our mind, we have an age group that we wanted to reach out to. And then we assumed that, okay, this particular age group are the ones with the problem. So by the time we sent out the survey link, like I sent out mine, others sent out theirs. Now I got the feedback from many people who are above that age. Obviously, they've gone through some of this, they've gone through that age, they've gone through it and now they're ahead, but they still have some challenges, or they encountered problems while they were in that age and they would like to talk about it. Some of them, they might even be having people around them in that age that they want to, share their voice for. So you must pay attention, you must observe. So I got feedbacks from people, so we had stopped at ages, I think we stopped at age 40. We created different age groups, and then we stopped at age 40. And then I began to get reactions from people saying, well, they're not feeling because their age group is not there. Someone who said, okay, please add ages 40 and above. And so very quickly, we had to add that into the survey because we used a Google form. And, a lot of people within that age range also helped us to see what we're not seeing. And so it's always important. So when you have done the empathizing, you now have to define. So you pick up so that's when you will need the help of data analysis expert or the analyst. So the analyst will pick up your survey results and they help you to define it. Now, even when you're using different social media platforms to do adverts in marketing, that's the digital media marketers, you will notice that there is something we call insights. Your insights will tell you how people are relating with your product, that is your ads. Yeah, they want you to see that, okay, some people find it attractive and that's why they click. So if you see by clicking, people are clicking. So it's either your text attracted them to click, or your flyer, the flyer you designed, attracted them to click. Like I said earlier, I don't buy some products because I don't like the way maybe the design looks from afar. Maybe it just looks shabby and it's not interesting, or I feel like, oh, this is not good enough, or even the text, the way people write their text. So if you pick up the text and you write it carelessly, without you paying attention to how people will feel, that's also dangerous for your business. Number 3 is ideate. So when you have defined who you are reaching out to, or you have defined what their needs are, you put together your research and your result from your research and the result from your observation, gather all of those insights, put them together, then you can now come up with a problem statement. So this is what people need. This is how they are. This is how they feel about these new products that we're trying to throw out there. Or this is what their expectations are. And then you now begin to ideate. So now, if this is what they want, you now have to create an idea or ideas that fit into what their expectations are. So you generate a wide range of creative solutions through brainstorming, mind mapping, and other ideation techniques. There are various ways in which you can ideate. You can brainstorm with your team, you can do the mind mapping or check. There are various ways. Sometimes you can just sit down and create different products and throw it out there. You know, even you can create a poll of people selecting which one is the best, which one should I, you know, when I'm doing designs also, I can do like 3 and send it out and say, okay, which one do you think is the best? And give me your why. I'll add it. Why? Just tell me your why. Make it very short and simple. I don't want to, something I can easily read and digest and understand. So you can throw it out there to people who will help you look at it critically and tell you, oh, okay, this is what I think. You can now do different age group and know, okay, what do they think about this idea? Which one will work fine? And then after that, you will now create a prototype. So how do you create a prototype? You build a tangible representation of the proposed solution to test and gather feedback from users. It's just like when we started this program. The first call was a pilot. We wanted to see what the feedback would be. And because the feedback was good, we had to continue, and then let's continue to test and send out the second advert to see. And I have to be honest with you, the acceptance was even larger than the first time. So, and it keeps going. The only thing is, yeah, people have challenges to come. So we're paying attention to the challenges people are having. To be very honest with you, we had about 200, I think we had 254 applications. Yeah, we received about 254 applications. We had 124 or 28, yeah, I think 128 acceptance of the offer because of the timing and all. And then now we have, some people don't come to class in the morning, while some are there. Yeah, some are writing, but of course, only people who do the full, who attend the full package will actually be rewarded at the end of the project. So, you know, we did that small size, and then we thought, oh, it's good. Okay, we can continue to do it, and of course, we'll continue to improve on it, to build on it, and scale eventually. So, you don't need to rush into, oh yeah, this is the final design, and then I'm going to go and pay money to it. It's just like you spend a lot of money on, you know. There was a time someone wanted us to design. I'm a web designer by profession, and what we do at MPC Communication is we build web mobile applications for businesses. So you would see them say, okay, we want to test run it. People should join free of charge. They want them to partake of the, they should feel, the product and then give them feedback on what they think they should improve on. So as designers and marketers, we need to pay attention to what our customers want and how they relate with our products. And then finally, we now have to refine the solution based on our user feedback to launch it, continuously iterating and improving on our products. So before I move to the next, I'd like us to ask questions if we have any. Questions, questions, questions. Questions. Am I talking to myself alone? I hope you've been listening to me. Have you been hearing me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. So questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so do we have questions? Questions? No question. Then I'll move to the next slide and we may round up here. Okay, so empathize. What is it? Empathizing simply means understanding your user. I already spoke about it, but I'm going to be emphasizing or expanding what it means. So now observational research. You have to observe users in their natural environment to gain insights into their behaviors and pain points. Like I already said, you can use surveys, or you can also do do interviews. So you can conduct one-on-one interviews to deeply understand the user's goal. You can do, sorry about that. You can conduct one-on-one interviews to deeply understand your users' goals, motivations, and challenges. And then finally, also have to do empathy mapping. So you create a visual representation of the user's thoughts, their feelings, their actions, and pain points. So you see that that word keeps coming. Pain points, pain points, pain points, pain points. The pain points is very, very important. So you must pay attention to that. So define, you must frame the problem. That is when, now that you have known or identify what the problem is, the next is for you to understand what's it called, to frame that problem in a way that you can help meet that need. Because when there is a problem, that means there is a need. And so what you are doing with your solution is to meet that particular need so that it doesn't remain as a problem. All right, then. So how do you do that? Clearly articulate the problem you aim to solve, focusing on the user's needs. Then number 2, use personas as user personas. Sorry, you have to do your user personas, understand who they are, how they think, how they feel. So develop detailed profiles of your target users to guide the design process. You know, the other time I was trying to say something about knowing your target audience. So you need to know, who are they? What do they look like? How do they think? How do they behave? How do they talk? How do they interact amongst themselves? Do you understand? So you must talk about that. You must pay attention so that you don't design something and then at the end of the day, it doesn't work out. You must pay attention to that. And then scenarios. Envision how users will interact with your solutions in specific situations. So like I said earlier, it's still another empathize. You know, in empathizing, you want to be in their shoes and think about it. Okay, what if? So that's when you put the what if question. What if this? How? What if? So that you can make that decision by yourself to think on, okay, is this what what if, and if your what if eventually tells you that this design that you have created will not work, or it will be a waste of resources, then you have to go back to rethink and redesign. And then design principle. Establish guiding principles to ensure your solution aligns with the user. And then ideating means you are generating creative solutions. Ideation techniques, use methods like brainstorming, we already said that earlier, mind mapping, and lateral thinking to generate a wide range of ideas. You must also use multidisciplinary collaboration, bringing together diverse team members to combine their unique perspectives and expertise. So when sometimes when I'm even doing graphics designing, and the customer says, oh, they want it now, I'll tell them, I don't feel creative right now. So the best is you can wait. So sometimes while waiting, I want to just check different flyers, check different products, and then come up with a solution for them. So whenever you just be doing the same thing the same way, and then you're not creating something new. And at the end of the day, when they see another person who is more creative than you, who takes time to do their design. Of course, taking time does not mean taking the whole time in the whole world. No, but at least you must give yourself time to think. You must be able to, check out other ideas and then bring it into yours and then make it better. Then deferring judgment, encourage a judgment-free environment to foster creativity and avoid premature evaluation. Let's move to prototyping, and I will stop. So prototyping means you're building and you're testing. And I'll just quickly leave us with this as assignments, right? So prototyping, you're going to be building and you're going to be testing. So how do you prototype? Lo-fi, who knows what lo-fi means? I wish I could close this screen, cover my screen. Lo-fi is what? Low fidelity prototypes. So you start with simple low fidelity prototypes to quickly test and iterate on ideas. This simply means prototypes that are not so difficult. They are easy to understand and execute. It is not easy to execute, and then it's so technical and so difficult, you can imagine wasting your time on something that gigantic or so enormous, and then at the end of the day, you now have to trash it. So make sure that you start from low-fi prototypes, and then you move to high-fi based on refinement. So you find the prototype to be more detailed and interactive for further testing. So you take it, they say start small. So this is like the process of starting small. And then you get to the point where you gather feedback from users to identify pain points and opportunities for the improvement. When you produce a product, even this program that we're doing, we had there's a feedback form that even you will fill. The first set of people filled, feedback forms. In fact, can I tell you that we doing morning and evening was a feedback gotten from majority of our students. And at the end of the day, by the time we're going to decide on when we're going to be doing it in the evening, we still had to do that same survey, and then we reached an agreement together, and that's why we are doing it at this time in the evening, because it worked the very first time when we did the prototype. So you have to do this from time to time so that you're designing solutions that sells. So on this note, I want to say thank you for today, for joining in today. Unfortunately, we were not able to have Mr. Gbenga in today. I'm going to continue mine most likely tomorrow. But before then, this is the time when we ask questions. And so we still have like 16 minutes to ask questions, because by 5:30 we round up this session. This is where I'll stop for today. So thank you. Let us unmute and ask questions and have our, there should be an attendance. Where's the program officer? There will be an attendance, but we will not have assessments today in the class, but it will be sent to us. How many of you are already on the how many of you are already on the assessment platform for digital media marketing? How many of you are already on the digital marketing assessment platform? Not WhatsApp. We have the same platform that you use for the life skills. It's the same platform where we have but there is a different group for your class.
On what platform, man?
Have you ever been part of the life skills session? Have you ever been part of the life skills session? Who is
No.
this? Exactly.
On what platform?
So we have life skills every morning. Every morning. So if you have not been joining, then that means you have been missing some of the classes and you're losing points already. So if you have
Okay,
not
I'm
been
on the life skills.
So every morning after the life skills session, there is always an assessment. So if you have not been taking part of the assessment, that means you just come in and you visit the bit out. That's what it means. So if you have not been doing that, you need to. So you have to go to your email, check your email, and then So there is another email that tells you how to get into the the digital media or UI UX assessment. So if you have not signed up, that means even when we have the assessment, you won't be able to take part in the quiz. So the attendance sheet will be dropped shortly. So go, if you have not done that, maybe we should seize this opportunity. Go back into your email. Okay, what I can do is, let me see if I can drop the links for you now on this platform so that you can register, because going forward, we're going to be having our assessment on that platform. We're going to be having our assessment on that platform. So let me see if I can help get the link. Vivian will drop the attendance list link rather for today. So please quickly jump in and take your time to do it. So while I look for the links to the assessment platforms, you both, I'll drop for UI/UX and I'll drop for digital media marketing. Okay. So that's for product design, digital. Sorry. Then next is for digital media marketing. You're going to get yours shortly. Hold on. So can you see it now? So if you have not yet registered, please go in now and register. From tomorrow, in fact, you're going to get your assessment by email. Please ensure that that's not from tomorrow. You will do it immediately after the class. But for what we did yesterday and today, you get your assessment by email. Maybe, yeah, I'll look for, because you guys were not in the same class yesterday. So you get your assessment by email, and we expect you to fill it whenever you get it. So is there any other question before we call it the day? We still have like 9 minutes together. Okay, so in the absence of questions, that means we will put, are we done registering on the quizzes platforms? Are we done? Hello?
I'm having difficulties in registering my assessment.
Have you clicked on your own? You can see that we have for product design and we have for digital media as marketing. So click on the one on the class that you belong to and register on this platform, so that when next an assessment is, because you won't be able to partake of the assessment if you are not registered here. We're currently working on the one on our elements. As soon as that one is ready, all assessments will be moved there. But for now, pending the time we're going to sort that out, we want you to use this platform. So for you to be able to sign up, to take part in the assessment, you have to sign up on this platform, because it is only people who are signed up on the platform that will be able to take the assessment. So just sign up with the link that has been posted to you.
Okay, ma'am.
Is that clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just say, did you get that now? And then the unique ID, we have sent that to you via email. You all have it in your email. If you click on the email, the link that says find your unique ID here, that here, click on it, it takes you to where you will find your unique ID. Select the class that you belong to. There are 4 classes. Select yours, and then from the list, check the number against your name. That is your, under the column unique ID. That is the unique ID that we use throughout this session. Is that clear? All right. Thank you very much. So, any question before we call it a day? Any question? All right. Thank you, Ikena. I'll call you IK. Any question, concern? And so please also, the WhatsApp platform is for you to use for questions. You can drop your questions also there. Some of them will not be responded to there and there. If you don't respond to them on that platform, then we'll respond to them whenever we're having classes. So just drop them. And we also want you to experiment. Go and read up. Or in fact, that's the assignment I'm going to give you, so that the next time I'm coming to complete my session on design thinking, I'm going to ask you what you have learned, what you have, what's it called, what improvement you've made since the end of today's class, and then we'll have case studies when I'm discussing it next, which might either be tomorrow or on Monday. Yes. So please, let's be prepared for the next class. Question?
And again,
ask.
sorry, I want to ask, the digital media we did yesterday,
Yes.
I logged on the the website, my
LMS.
Yeah, the LMS, but I was assigned to sign in before I can
Yes, you
get
have to sign
the
it.
course.
Yes. You have to sign it. You're going to get anything. You have to do it.
Okay, I'll have to register. Well, I thought that I already have a profile with the organization.
You already have a
Or
profile.
is it a different?
Do you already have a profile?
I don't know. I don't know, because I've been trying to sign.
No, if you do not have that, if your email is on the LMS, then you won't be able to register a new one. It will just ask you to set the password, so you can set if you already have your email registered on that platform. Else you have to use another email.
Okay, I think I don't have my any of my email registered there.
Then just go ahead and start and get into the site.
Okay, I'll have to register. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question? So on this note, I want to say thank you to everyone for jumping in this evening. See you all tomorrow. Tomorrow we have an announcement for Thursday activities. So see you guys tomorrow morning. Everyone should please come to the class tomorrow at 9 o'clock. So thank you all for joining. I'll say bye-bye for now.
Bye, man.
Bye. Thank you.